Hey guys, what's going on? Grandmaster Jerry Fast Food Fontanez here. And the question recently posed to me was, hey man, how is it that you're such an aggressive person and you're not intimidated by other people? Well, the fact of the matter is that I've always been scared when fighting, but if you run, people chase you. So, the definition of courage is not the absence of fear, it's being fearful and still doing it. The point is that I was brought up in Spanish Harlem. I was born in 1966 in the Mount Sinai Hospital in Spanish Harlem. And in 1971, we moved over to the South Bronx, 164th and Sheridan Avenue, not too far from Yankee Stadium. And there was a big difference between Spanish Harlem and Barrio and South Bronx or the Bronx. And the big difference was there was a lot more murders, believe it or not, in Spanish Harlem during that time than even the South Bronx. So it was like from the fire to the frying pan. My area was still bad, had the renegades of Harlem in 119 between 2nd and 3rd, which were my cousins, pretty infamous gang. And my mother was actually a single parent by 1975 in the Bronx, and was on the welfare system for many years and still lives in the projects of the Bronx today. Um, and my father was incarcerated as far back as I think 1971. So I started martial arts in 1974, and I had no father figure except for my stepdad, who was out the house by 1975. And my mother wasn't much of a what you consider leader. And so by the time I opened up these karate schools, I had to hire her and my aunt and my brother and a whole bunch of other people that I didn't necessarily need. But I had to have them around me because I was scared of even being alone, not used to being alone. So at age 16 years old, 1982, I found out I'm gonna be a father, and since I was a karate fever boy in my neighborhood, I figured let me focus on martial arts and try to take care of my would-be my son, whatever my child was going to be. I didn't even know what it was going to be, and be different from my father, who was never there. And it's sad and it's interesting, but I remember putting my name Jerry Fontanez on a Google search back in the day, and all I seen was a bunch of criminals, a bunch of criminals, and even to this very day, if you put my name Jerry Fontanez, the first 4 pages is me, so you would think I'm the only one. But after that, what you see is men and women with the last name, and or they are, they're they're headshots from being arrested. So when it's all said and done, I didn't really have a good start per se in life. Um, Teenage pregnancy, welfare system, and incarcerated dad. But I made a decision to make the Fontanez name into something that was positive. Um, at age 17, I won my first grand championship with the audacity of, you know, even fighting, and I beat Reginald Good, Reginald Snake Good, one of the original Ninja Turtles. That's right. There were a bunch of martial artists in New Jersey called the Ninja Turtles. You know, props to all these guys, including Jesse Harris and Trent Norman, Michael Powers, Andre Graham, and of course um, Jesse Harris, phenomenal martial artist, the Ninja Turtles. Anyhow, so even doing things like fighting from New York and New Jersey, that was like the other side of the world. And that first grand championship, I rest in peace, Joe Versace, Master Joe Versace's event in South Plainfield High School or middle school, not sure, probably middle school. That was the first time I came out on television, cable TV at the time. Even during the Bronx, we had nothing but WHT and HBO, the Womoko Home Theater, and HBO. So some of you guys may remember that. But anyhow, the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people ask me the question, how is it I'm so confident and aggressive? And a lot of it will just be upbringing. When people were training to you know to compete in tournaments, I was training not to get my butt whooped by Carlos because Maria was my new girlfriend, and Carlos wanted to whip my butt during the summertime. So I didn't live in an environment that you couldn't fight. You had to be able to fight, otherwise you would have been labeled a punk chump. And even with my martial arts skills, I got a black eye one time in a fight, which made me step up in my martial arts. Another time I got my nose broken, which really made me step up. All this because I was the fly guy, and the new guy in the neighborhood that was a pretty good dancer. And the girls liked me, and the guys didn't like me, so we got into a fight. Didn't do too well, but after that, trust me, I started training like a maniac. So by age 14, I was a pretty good damn fighter, weighing about 120, 25 pounds maybe. And I decided to become a karate champion when my son, Jerry Fontanez II, was just about to be born. So just about a week before he was born, he was born August 25th, 1983, I won my first grand champion. And shortly after that, I got rated in Region 11 for Karate Illustrated. My dream was to be on the cover of that magazine, and it didn't happen because we lost what used to be newsstand magazines giving us coverage. So I happened to go to magazines that were just free giveaway magazines like Sport Karate, which was Smash Magazine at the time, and a few other ones. But that's the past. Presently, I have a location in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I have an online martial arts school that's getting pretty popular. I also have a sniper fighter program, which I consider the opportunity for other people to benefit from my 40+ years of experience. I was taught how to fight by not just martial artists, but by women. My grandmother, Santa Cruz, rest in peace, was an infamous entrepreneur. She had over 300 members in her social club back in the 1960s. This was a black woman from Puerto Rico who used to box incredibly and was choking people out, putting them to sleep, ruining it and choke. That was phenomenal with a knife. She taught me to take a knife and how to properly use it. The Puerto Ricans were also brought up in the blade culture, a little different than what people used to. And you guys may be thinking, well, this guy's crazy, right? Well, it wasn't crazy in our neighborhood. And if we had no knife, which most of us did, Puerto Ricans had knives, then if you got caught with no knife and someone whipped the knife out on you, which happened to me before, it happened to me before, so you would look to the ground, and in New York, you'd be able to grab a bottle real quick, take the bottle, and just crack it in the sidewalk, corner of the sidewalk, and now you had a jagged edge of multiple knives. Did that one time, the guy just ran. Neighborhoods, you had to have your weapons to just protect yourself. So when I went to a karate tournament, I started relating tournaments that were in the open circuit to gangs. I walked onto what would have been the yard, almost in the jail. And I seen the Goju gang, Harlem Goju, props to Sam McGee and Master Sam McGee, and rest in peace to Major Wallace and the whole crew from Harlem. And there was multiple Harlem Gojus. So they were having beef with each other. And then you had the karate, the Shotokan karate guys, and the other Shotokan karate guys. And I had the Kung Fu guys, and I had the Taekwondo guys, and then you had me, walking down the middle with all these two Nike bags. And when I stepped to the scene, people were trying to recruit me for their gang. And I got down with one, Sifu Yamamoto, the guy's name was really John Freeman. He convinced me that with his 36 styles of Kung Fu that I was going to do well. So since I trained first initially in Kung Fu, I figured, hey, man, maybe I'll give that a shot. And as it turned out, I was able to bust somebody's lip 2 weeks in a row, and I figured, well, you know what, if I'm here to learn and I'm doing this and I don't know anything yet, then maybe I should step somewhere else that may have some better skills. So I started training with Shion Jonas Nunes, and even though when I met him, initially he was a green belt and I was a red belt. By the time I met him again in 1980, he was a black belt. And I was an afraid dude. I was afraid to even go compete in a tournament that allowed punching to the face, because I wasn't used to that coming from Taekwondo. My Taekwondo instructor was Sang Soo Taiyukem. Anyway, um, that's when I met Time Marcos, the Last Dragon in 1980. That Tommy Chun's, she on Tommy Chun's, one of the Kyoshi Tommy Chun's. And I remember we competed and I beat him. And somehow we ended up fighting again that same day. He beat me, which is, just New York for you. You eliminate the guy and then you come back and fight him again. I think I vaguely remember something like that. And this is way before The Last Dragon, obviously, at least 5 years before the movie came out. Timek was and is my best friend when it comes to martial arts and life, which is nice. What else can I say? I have been able to literally become a multiple world champion and known internationally. And to some people, I'm a martial arts celebrity. To others, I'm a, a-hole. And for those of people who believe that, well, thank you for noticing and pronouncing my name right. And I'm trying to be facetious, but I don't really feel bad if people don't like the character I portray because that's exactly that, character. Like um, like any other good wrestler. Dusty Rhodes was one of my favorite wrestlers, and Superstar Billy Graham wasn't, but they had the same flavor because they learned how to do those antics from Gorgeous George, and that's where guys like Jesse the Body Ventura and even Hulk Hogan learned how to do some of their characters. Go to bad, you knew who they were, and if there was a good competitor, a good wrestler, and the wrestler turned bad, it became even more popular as a bad guy. So that's what I did. I picked sides. On the NBL, I was, it sounds funny, but I was considered like the god of the Master Black League. And then the Master, I was considered like the Antichrist, because I purposely, figured out that if I could be a good guy and a bad guy, they could both, and people could know my name either side, that would be a difficult thing to do. I'm a mixed matcher when it comes to making things happen that no one's ever done before. That turns me on. Whether it was the recognized clothing line, which to this very day people still try to emulate and duplicate and just can't get it right. So that's why people are walking around right now with some alternative fabric uniforms. Even though they're a little tight in the butt right now, and going down the wearing satin, shiny butt uniforms. But it's still an alternative fabric uniform that got away from the traditional uniforms fabric, the kind that shrunk. I also made deals with uh, Macho, big company that I ended up making Macho rec suits. And so it's my company called Rec Suits, and I make Macho uniforms. Then they copy me the following year, so I had to cut them off. I also had multiple deals with Chuck Norris, including making the uniform for the World Combat League that was on television for a season. Made all the uniforms for that. We also did the Chunkudo uniforms, which was Chuck Norris' organization, the Kickstart program, and all types of stuff. My main, at the height of my Fontanez karate operation deal back in the 90s, I was able to have 1,000 students from 6 locations with my name on it. And by the time I was 29 years old, I was completely burnt out because people were just hounding to me. And here we are in 2014, and I'm happy to say that I don't have the entourage that I did before, so I don't have to worry about the people around me if they really care about me. Because I choose to be a fanboy helping people, and that's the past and some of the present. And I'm in the best shape right now in the last 17 years. So I'm gonna continue breaking records and breaking necks and enjoying myself in the process. And yes, I'm gonna add the one thing. I was the guy that was able to take the Rocksteady crew and become a member of that and get stories in the Source magazine and be on TV and Newsday, in English and Spanish. That woman did a 2-part special news on me, and Diario and all these different things. That to me are important because when it's all said and done, most martial artists never did these things. Now, as compared to what I'm doing in the future, man, that's nothing. I didn't know what to do. So watch out for the future because the best is yet to come. All right, guys. AB. See you soon.